Hi my friend, in MMA, there are many ways to make an opponent give up. Years pass, but the masters of the stalls continue to surprise fans with rare and original submissions. I have collected for you some unusual techniques that amaze with their technique. Let's start, and with you, liking and subscribing is the best motivation for me. Gogoplata. This submissive refers to tracheal. Its essence is to press the front of the shin against the opponent's Adam's apple, and then pull up his head with his hands, thereby blocking the access of oxygen. The technique is very difficult to perform in real combat due to its technical complexity, but in the 0 years Nick Diaz could pull off such tricks. At the Pride 33 tournament, he fought Japanese Takanori Gomi. In the second round, Nick found himself on his back, but quickly managed to get his bearings. Diaz threw his legs over the Japanese's neck and promptly closed the grip. Gomi knocked, but later this fight was declared invalid, as Nick failed a test for banned substances. The strangulation of Ezekiel, Alexei Oleinik still performs in the UFC. On April 9, 2022, the boa constrictor broke a 3-game losing streak and strangled Jared Vanderaa in the first round. Uncle Lesha is a famous master of various techniques. Oleinik has 60 MMA wins, 47 of which are by submission. On January 15, 2017, Alexei shared the octagon with Victor Pest at the UFC Fight Night 103 tournament. In the first round, the Czech was in the mount, and the Russian fighter was on his back. However, Pest was not even aware that he had fallen into a trap. Oleinik put his hand under the Czech's neck and did not let go. No one in the arena even understood why Pest knocked. Then it seemed that the Czech athlete was in an advantageous position and would soon finish his opponent. In 2018, the boa constrictor repeated the strangulation of Ezekiel in a fight against Junior Albini, who forgot the basics of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. In the first round, Oleinik forced his opponent to knock. Peruvian tie is a strangulation technique in which the arms of the athlete who applies the technique are tied around the neck with the opponent's lower arm through a grip. Then the attacking fighter turns the opponent and drapes his legs over his back, squeezing his neck to perform the reception. Not all fighters even train this submissive in the gym because of its technical complexity. But to pull off such a trick in a cage is an extremely difficult task. For the first time in the history of the UFC, circa B. Dalloway succeeded in a fight against Jesse Taylor back in 2008. 11 years later, this feint was repeated by Misha Zirkunov, forcing Jim Root to surrender in the first round. The reception of the Canadian Latvian was appreciated with a pleasant bonus of $50,000. Banana split, or hip lever is a painful technique in which a fighter acts on the opponent's inguinal ligaments by stretching his legs with his hands and feet. In 2014, at the CFFC 31 tournament, Jamil Jones performed this rare move in a fight with Danny Holmes. It is noteworthy that Jones was fighting his second professional mixed martial arts fight, and he lost the first one. Twister, a painful spinal tap that only 2 fighters in the entire history of the UFC have been able to perform, Jung Chong Song, who is better known as the Korean Zombie, and Bryce Mitchell. In 2011, Song made his UFC debut in a fight with Leonard Garcia. The athletes had already met before, and then Garcia won by split decision. The Korean Zombie took revenge very ingeniously. At the UFC Fight Night 24 tournament, Sun and Garcia fought for more than 9 minutes until the fight moved to the ground floor. The Zombie quickly found an option for a painful one and twisted the opponent by making a twister. All Leonard had to do was knock. 8 years later, featherweight Bryce Mitchell repeated this feint in the octagon in a fight with Matt Sales. Mitchell pinned down his opponent at the end of the first round and received a bonus for the best performance of the evening. My friend, that's it for me. Like and subscribe as always. And write it all down. What do you think about this video in the comments? While